Welcome to the Indie Beacon Show, where readers can discover great new books by indie authors. Your hostess for today's show is Rox Burkey. We do hope you enjoyed today's show.
Good evening and welcome to Indie Beacon Show. I am so excited tonight to be here. I'm Rox Burkey and I'm here tonight with Patricia Le Foll. And I'm telling you, it's going to be a wonderful discussion. Welcome, Patricia.
Thank you. I'm very
Patricia is an amazing writer and creator and teacher, mentor. I mean, you have a little bit of everything going for you. Thank you so much. So I really want to talk about, in our first segment here, I want to talk about how you decided to get into writing and some of the barriers you overcame.
Mm-hmm. I was 18 when my first book of poetry came out. And after that, because I was a student then, I had more time than when I started to work. So for years, no more writing. A lot of drawing to teach. That helps, on the board, you draw little things. But I had to abandon writing and drawing while I was working. And I was working day and night. But since I moved to Arizona, I decided to stop teaching in the evening in addition to the day. So all of a sudden, all these evenings, I started to write again, and I'm very happy about it.
And I think the audiences are going to be even happier to learn about some of the things that you have been writing. So, I kind of want to get this on the table a little bit early, Patricia, because you actually have two writing names that you do.
Yes, I do.
Yes. So one of them, I'm sure I'm going to just murder this name, but we're going to give it a try. Kat Zirkak. Is that right?
Not bad. I wanted to sound like the cat, but
the cat. Okay.
The cat.
Americans cannot do a French accent. It's just real hard.
I'm trying to speak the best English possible because when I teach, I want to help my student with pronunciation. And if I am horrible when I speak English, then it's not right. So I'm trying to have a decent accent in English.
Well, I think that your accent is lovely. You can find the words. But the reason I brought up that particular pen name that you use is I think this particular book, which I know the French edition is available, and I hope there's an English edition as well.
My books are bilingual. The French and the English are inside the same book.
So this particular one goes through some experiences that you had with animals in Africa, right?
Sure, because I lived in RDC, Republic Democratic of Congo. Uh-huh. And my father was a pilot in the airline of the country. So we mostly flew inside this beautiful basin of Congo that is this big country. And my father loves nature, and so do I. So we didn't stay there in the city. When we could take off, we would explore volcanoes. We went to see gorillas. We would be getting up early in the morning to make sure if a lion hasn't eaten during the night, we might see an attack in the morning, and we did. My father made a film that was sold, in fact. And I admire the rangers because there is a lot of enemies to people defending nature, like poachers, but also traffickers, like, if there is an American dentist, for instance, who has some money to waste and to go kill an elephant in a reserve in Africa, there are some people who will help those idiots to go and kill things to make awful pictures of themselves. Then on top of that, you add companies like oil companies who want to forage oil where they are not allowed to. So they kill rangers once in a while to discourage people to defend the park. Even the president of the park moved back to Belgium because he was shot and he wanted to put his family in safety. But he ended up going back, and he's still the president of the park, full-time there. His wife is a veterinary, and I have their newsletter. I donate a little money, not much because I'm a French teacher mostly and a writer, but I like to give any proceed from the sale of my book, Femme Panthère or Panther Woman, to this park, which is the oldest African park.
So I think this is amazing. In your 10 years of being in Africa and moving from base to base, I mean, you not only developed a love for the animals and the creatures, but you also became so informed about, the people that were hurting, the animals, their environment with what they were doing. So I think that it's really amazing that you are actually donating a portion of the proceeds from this book, whether it is in paperback or the ebook. You're going to donate a portion of that. And so it's Femme Panthère?
Yes, Femme Panthère and Panther Woman, both. I put all the short stories in French first and the translation afterward, because I don't like face-to-face, because then students don't concentrate. They want to check each time. They should read French, and if they have a question, then they go look for the English in the back, but not constantly, because it's no more entertaining of practicing your language if you are checking all the time.
Yeah, no, exactly. And there are some photographs in there. I know the cover is absolutely stunning.
Oh, thank you. No, there is no photographs in there, but hopefully the writing will give you images.
Right.
So I also wrote in this book about Southeast Asia, because I was supposed to go to Papua New Guinea and Borneo in 2020. But then, of course, I didn't go because of the pandemic. So I do write one of the short stories. I am an orangutan. And another story is a true story that happened to a gorilla in RDC. So it's a mixture of true stories and also imaginary story. And one story is even in the future. It's a little like science fiction.
Oh, wow. Is there some poetry in there as well, since you kind of started down the poetry lane?
Definitely. I would think so. I know that in another bilingual book of short stories, there is definitely poetry in it, in the stories. Like I write the story of a man who has breast cancer, because it does exist, and we don't talk about those men who have breast cancer. And at one point, the wife of this man writes a poem to her mother, who has problem too with breast cancer. She decided to do like Angelina Jolie and get rid of her tits. And her daughter sends her a very nice poem about the first time when she came to life at birth and finally found the breast and got hooked on it for some good stuff to drink. So I think it's it's sweet. I don't know if I can find it right away. It's probably the first. I'm looking for the English part, of course, for you.
So when you finished and left Africa, you ended up in Normandy or in the Bordeaux to actually study economics, right?
Bordeaux area, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So did you find that a huge change in lifestyles and socializing?
Definitely, because we traveled a lot, and Africa was definitely my favorite because I love nature.
Yeah.
People are wonderful. Also, the people in Africa, they are very different from people in North Africa. So that I don't know East Africa, but the West and the center, Burundi, Rwanda, I know, there are people who will tell you dramatic things that are happening to them with a big smile, like, just like that. And it's amazing. It's very different from most of us when we have a tiny little problem. And I love this way to accept life or not. And I think there are philosophical. Wait.
I am sorry to interrupt, but we need to take a pause and
Okay.
hear from our sponsors. And when we come back, I want to talk about some of the things you did during the pandemic. So stay tuned.
Okay. Yeah.
Like drink time.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Elle Ballard, and I'm the founder of Women of the World Network, a supportive entrepreneurial community of multinational women. I'm excited to announce we have second series launching for our anthology, Recipes for Body, Mind, and Soul, on April 7th. If you'd like to participate in any of our future anthologies or just check out our community, visit womenoftheworldnetwork.com.
Welcome to B4R.store, a bookstore for indie readers and indie authors, where indie authors can earn their fair share from the books you purchase. We have a wide variety of genres that you can select from. We also have ebooks and paperbacks. You can select authors by their first names, and we also have music. If you're interested in their city or country, we have that listed as well. If you are an author and would like to be on our bookstore, we have 3 options for you. There is a small minimal charge, or you can join our organization at authorsmarketing.org and learn how to better market and sell yourself. That is B4R.store, a bookstore for indie readers and indie authors.
Hi, I'm Charles Brakefield.
And I'm Rox Burkey.
Together, we write as Brakefield and Burkey.
Our techno thriller series is 12 books strong, with book 13, The Enigma Tracer, planned for 2022.
Techno thrillers are the cyber good guys versus today's darknet thugs.
We added our series prelude, Out of Poland, a 1939 historical novella, in 2021.
We also have 8 short stories available in family and women's contemporary genres, with more planned for 2022.
Please visit our website, enigmaseries.com, to learn more about why we say technology is today's weapon of choice. Thank you.
Welcome to the Indie Beacon Show, where readers can discover great new books by indie authors. Your hostess for today's show is Rox Burkey. We do hope you enjoyed today's show.
Welcome back to the Indie Beacon Show. I am here with Patricia Le Foll, and we are having a wonderful conversation. When we left, we had you in Africa, but as we go forward, I kind of want to talk about what you did from a pandemic perspective with your writing, because I think that's fascinating.
I wrote a short story 7 times with a different style each time. And the story is a banality of us being confined, and some families have a harder time than others to deal with being all together all the time, above all if the house is not a castle and you are a lot of people in your family. And some people are alone. That was my idea, because we might find the confinement very difficult if we are a couple or if we are 4 people in our family all together. But what about the people who are by themselves? And some of these people can have a mental illness of the moment or chronic illness, like I have friends who have manic depression or whatever. And confinement has increased the difficulties those people have, definitely. Most of us, plus those.
So when you wrote the 7 stories, is it the same story or you picked 7 different subjects? I want to make sure I understand.
It is the same story. It's mostly a big monologue from the mother of the family, who is talking about her husband, her son, and her daughter confined with her. And there is a suspense. She found something in her husband's pants, a picture, and she starts having very bad ideas, and she imagines the worst, and she realizes, I cannot leave because we are confined, and she worries for her children. She makes a big deal out of what she discovers, and that's the story. But then I change it, different style, like paranoiac style, cheerful style, very pompous style, or very vulgar style. And when you read it, you realize that it's not boring because the characters change personality, the way they speak. The language tell a lot about yourself.
Right. So what's the name of this particular book? And I know that you wrote it under Patricia Le Foll.
It's called Exercises in Style by Confined Woman. And in French, it goes Exercices de style d'une confinée. So it's Exercises in Style by Confined Woman.
So you really wrote it for adults to kind of get an idea of the different actions and personalities that could emerge from a given situation, is what I'm kind of sensing.
Yes. So it's I think it's funny in the sense of laughable, how it can be extreme sometimes, but it also makes us think about even if our family can be hard on ourselves sometimes, it might be better than being alone with problems.
Right. No, that's remarkable. And that's available in English and in French because you have that style. So that's wonderful. And then there was another book that you wanted to share. And what's the name of that one?
It's Plafond de Verre, or Glass Ceiling. So the reason why I called it that is because the longest short story is called Plafond de Verre, Glass Ceiling. It's the story of a businesswoman who is very ambitious, very passionate about what she's working at. And she has the interview of her life. She wanted exactly that company, that position, but then something very odd happens in an elevator. And it's like science fiction. From this point, it becomes not absurd, but surreal. And hopefully she'll get where she wants to go.
Yeah, and the cover on this particular one is fascinating because you have the glass, you have a ballerina, you have an umbrella, and it's that in and of itself is very surreal and kind of like,
and a little feministic, because even though the story starts with this poor guy with breast cancer, there is also some feministic point of view.
Right. So now that you're writing again, how many books have you actually published recently?
Recently, 8.
Okay, so you have 8 books available?
3 by myself and 5 with publishers in France. So the other books are in French. There is a book of poetry. There is a short play, which is a game. There is a book I wrote with another lady, and it's a game also that finishes in a short story. And then there is the mistakes of my students, which are wonderful. I call it the pearls of my students, but that would be for a person understanding French enough to find out where the mistake is. But it would be good for any French teacher or people interested in linguistics. It's really funny, I think.
So of all the books that you have published to date, do you have one that's a favorite?
Probably Panther Woman or Femme Panthère. Poetry is always high on my poetry book. The recent is called Dans tous les sens. It's a palm tree upside down. I make my own pictures.
Yep.
Dans tous les sens. And now I'm working on a book for a donation. This is I'm working on the publishing of this book for Ukraine writers together. It will come out soon, and it's writers in Tucson and also in England and even from Ukraine. They sent me a poem or a one-page text. I found 24 authors, and it will come out. And instead of being my name, the name will be Tucson and Friends.
Oh, I think that's excellent. Okay, so we're at the point where we're going to take another short break to hear from our sponsors. And then I want to share with our listeners how they can find you and reach out to you. So stay tuned.
Each and every one of us has a mission in life. Mine is to help people laugh through the good times and the bad. My name is Charlotte Canyon, and I'm an author, a speaker, and a host on Indie Beacon Radio. If you need me to speak at an event or autograph my book, you can contact me at charlotte@charlottecanyon.com. Thank you, and have a blessed day.
Authors Marketing International, a membership-based organization where members learn how to better market and sell themselves. Join us at authorsmarketing.org. Hi, this is Beyond Bourgeois. I am the founder and director of the B4 Art Bookstore. We are in our warehouse, and as you can see behind me are some of the books that we have for the short story contest that we run annually. It begins March 1st and runs through July 31st. Of course, if you win, you get copies of the books you're published in, the anthologies, and they go out to libraries and schools. So a great way to discover new readers. Check it out, b4r.store, and good luck. Welcome to the Indie Beacon Show, where readers can discover great new books by indie authors. Your hostess for today's show is Rox Burkey. We do hope you enjoyed today's show.
Welcome back to the Indie Beacon Show, and I'm having such a great conversation with Patricia Le Foll. Amazing what you have accomplished, English and French and teaching people, and it's wonderful. So how can people find you if they want to communicate with you, if they want to talk to you? What's the best way?
I think the best way is to send me an email. And the email address is alamaisonaz@gmail.com, which I'm going to spell.
I hope so.
ALAMAISONAZ@gmail.com. Do you think you could repeat that better than me?
No, I don't.
You do have it. I think you have my email address somewhere. No?
I think I do.
Yeah, would be better with you, I think. I can repeat it again. You know, people go A as in, and I never.
Oh, no, we don't want to do that. That will take forever.
Okay. No, but that's good. I can repeat it simply. ALAMAISONAZ@gmail.com.
That was very, very good. I think people can find you. So you really don't have a website at this point?
Oh, yes, I do. How can I forget that? Alors, my website is alamaisondefrance.com. ALAMAISONDEFRANCE.com.
Okay, and so that people can learn about your books. They can learn about your instruction. I mean, there's a lot of really good things on there. And so do you like to do like book signings or author events? You get a chance to do that in Arizona?
I would like to. I quickly published the bilingual books recently because I had a booth at the Festival of Books of Tucson.
Okay.
And from now on, I will have it every year. And it was wonderful. I love this Festival of Books in Tucson. And I invited a friend of mine who is a mystery writer. So it was more fun to be in the booth together. Yeah. And a lot of people did buy my books. Even my first books ever when I was younger, disappeared. I had 4 left, they disappeared. No more, new page.
Turn a page and go to something new. So that's absolutely terrific. So are there any other upcoming events that you are slotted to go to in case somebody wants to, see you and talk with you?
No, I had sorry, I could remove my glasses. I had offered the possibility of a salon littéraire. They come to my home and we chit-chat about the books they have bought. If they can come, if they are in the area, they should come with their book and we chit-chat about whatever in both languages if needed.
Oh, I think that would be a lot of fun, kind of like a little bilingual book club going on. I think that's exciting.
I would like.
So, I think it's been just wonderful chatting with you, Patricia. I think everyone that's listening to this is really, really going to enjoy what you have to offer. And we'll have to do this again. I love Arizona. It's one of my favorite places.
Okay, thank you. And I wish you a good time in Texas with
Thank
the
you
weather.
so much. We'll get together. Thank you so much. You have a great evening. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching the Indie Beacon Show, produced by B. Allen Bourgeois for the Authors Marketing International LLC, copyright 2022, voiceover by B. Allen Bourgeois. If you would like to be a sponsor of the show, please contact us at authorsmarketing@outlook.com. If you would like to be on this show, it is free to authors. Simply fill out the form at indiebeacon.com. The music is provided by Happy Follows. The music is entitled